Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can probably see behind me, I'm down the canal. Bit of a cut through here. You can see the sun is out as well, but today we're after some zander. Now, I was going to have a bit of a rest from fishing for perhaps a week or so. However, our mate Buffalo Si from River Masters, he's got his own YouTube channel called River Masters. I'll link you in up there and down there. If you want to go and have a look at his videos, makes some very entertaining videos. He's been having a few zander from along here. And also my friend Mick, who writes his own blog, again, up there and down there. They were coming here this morning and said, do you want to come along? And I was like, no, it's last day of the Six Nations, I'm going to have a rugby day. But then my daughter announced to me that she needed a lift at 7 o'clock in the morning to about 5 miles from here. So I thought, oh, why not? So I've dragged a few old dead baits. I've got some roach and some smelt out of the freezer. Grabbed the zander gear at 10 o'clock last night, because 18-year-olds give you loads of notice on these things, don't they? I grabbed the gear and I've come out. So, the setup. What I've got is Advanta Discovery RVS Specimen 12-foot 2-pound test curve rod. That will cope with anything we can catch in the canal. I have got a Nomura Hero reel on there, loaded up with some 035 mono. The business end, we'll start from the top. I've got a stop nut up there to stop the float. I've got a bead, I've got a Drennan Esox Piker 5 gram, nice small float. Got a drill bullet there. The float obviously will sit on the top, the drill bullet will sit on the bottom. Then we come down to the trace, which is a Drennan soft strand wire, because we might encounter some pike. And I have a single circle hook on there. Much easier to get out circle hooks than snap tackle, than treble hooks, and much more fish friendly in my opinion. Nice and easy to tie these traces up. I actually made a video of how I tie these up, so if you want to go and have a look at that, again, there's a link up there and down there to how I tie these traces up. Right, I have one rod set up like that. The other one has a much bigger float on, left over from when I went to Falmouth to do a bit of sea fishing there. It's my RAS setup, so I think that float's far too big. But we'll get this one in the water while we're setting that one up and we're fishing. And I do need to update you a little bit on what's been happening, because I have been out since you last saw me. If you'll remember that last video, I said I'll see you tomorrow, that being the last day of the season. And I did get out on the last day of the season a couple of times. And there's a reason you haven't seen a video, which I'll go into in a minute. So all we're going to do along here is just fish the cover. A few bits of cover around. See how we get on. Got half a roach on there, just lip hooked. And we'll have a crack. Right, we're fishing. I shall change the float on this other rod. Actually, let's put that rod over there out of the way. The towpath's a bit tight here. We'd fish a couple of rods, completely identical setups. As I say, I just didn't realise I was coming out till 10 o'clock last night. So we've got a very, very big float on this one, which is probably far too big for doing this. It'd be nice to catch zander. I've caught zander for ages. There's very little chance to do any predator fishing down the Avon this year. It's been terrible. The river's just been up the whole time, pretty much. I know the local club, to me, had their first match on the Avon just a couple of weeks before the end of the season. That was their first match since October. It's been washed off the whole time. Now I'll keep moving along today, keep roving about, Give each spot perhaps 20 minutes, perhaps leapfrog the rods along. Well, I'm always standing around waiting. I can update you on what happened or what didn't happen on the last day of the season. I actually got up very, very early and went up to the Stour, Warwickshire Stour. One of my regular haunts. It looked a nice height for some fish. Well, I fished and I fished and I fished, and I had loads and loads of bites in every single swim. All sort of bites like that. I didn't have a single proper bite. Gave it 3 or 4 hours. Not a proper bite in sight. So I thought, right, what are we going to do? Don't want to finish on a session like that. But clearly the big fish on the Stour, for whatever reason, not interested. So I went down to the Arrow. I went on a new ticket on the Arrow. Went up for a few hours down there in the evening with my mate Mick. Got there before him, primed up a few swims. Went off to fish one of my favourite swims, what I call the dead tree swim. Fished in there, didn't take too long to get a bite. Absolute whack round, struck into nothing. Believe this. So, another cast, again, next cast. Rod almost pulled off the rests, that's what it felt like. Nothing, struck into nothing. So this is driving me up the wall. Right, I'm going to have a move. Nothing doing another decent swim. So I can't leave that other swim, having had some bites in there. So I went back and spent about another hour in there, just into dusk, having my pants pulled down, basically. In the end, I was fishing bread with a bread feeder on. I tried taking the feeder off because I suspected they were pulling away at the feeder. I took the feeder off and got no bites. So put the feeder back on, stuck a worm on, chucked that out, got a slamming bite, struck nothing. Worm came back completely intact, which told me they were indeed grabbing the feeder. So anyway, I ended the season on another blank, 2 blanks in the same day. So there you go, that's why you've not seen a video. But we're here now, hopefully can have some fish from the canal. It's never an easy prospect, the canal, but there's lots of different places we can go. Lots of different species we can fish for. Do like doing a bit of roach fishing for the silvers, and also of course doing a bit of Zander fishing. And like I say, we might catch a pike as well, who knows. I can kind of get along with this because it's not sort of bait and wait, it's give it 20 minutes, move, give it 20 minutes, move. So that's what we're going to do, I think, today. Keep moving around. There's a bit of cover further up there, I've seen. There's some more along here as well. So I think we'll move that one rod now. We'll just get a little bit further along there. Kind of with Zander, if they're there, generally not going to mess about if they're hungry. Especially on the canal, they're quite opportunist. They have to sort of grab whatever's going. So we'll drop it in that gap there. That's nice. As you know, I love the rivers, love river fishing. It's my favourite type of fishing. I kind of dread the close season, but I kind of also look forward to it because it makes me do something different, like this, something, you know, which I wouldn't do if we weren't allowed on the rivers. So yeah, and I do enjoy it when you see that float bob and then sail away. I've got some other things planned as well. I've got some tench fishing planned. I'm going to get down to Linear. I promised to take my daughter again for another session to go and fish for some carp. Got a few other places I'm planning on visiting as well, just for some silvers fishing and some perhaps some tench fishing, bream, who knows what. So yeah, we'll get about. We'll do a bit of, take advantage of not being on the rivers. Can also, of course, do a bit of trout fishing. Get the lures out. maybe even get the flies out. Bought myself a little fly setup. Was it last season? I think it was last season. Or last close season. So we can even get out and do a bit of that, which I am absolutely useless at, but it'd be quite funny to see what happens. What we're doing now, this canal's starting to tow a bit. I think there's probably a boat coming, so we'll take that as a cue to further on up. Cool, slim pickings this morning. Fancy fishing a bit of virgin water as well. We'll get down further down. It's now a quarter of a mile, third of a mile further downstream. The lure guy been working this bit as well this morning, so we'll get further down. Right, next up we've got a bit of cover I've remembered. Bush over there, obviously some bushes along here as well. Squeaky tripod. Don't often come here. It's a bit of a trek. But I have had fish here in the past, so it might be worth the trek. Surprising amounts of boats moving today. Didn't think we'd have much traffic today. We've seen at least 5 now, I think. So it's not really much of a problem, and sometimes helps when you're doing this sort of fishing. Gets the fish moving. Well, it's non-start action here. I thought this cover, when I came around that corner and saw it, so I remember it from a while back, but it regularly gets hacked back by the CRT. When I came around the corner and saw all that, I just thought, yeah, there's got to be some zander under there. But if there are, they don't seem to be very hungry. Keep twitching these baits, try and get a reaction if there are any fish down there. I'm just sort of moving along the cover as well. Just drag this bait past the front of that cover there. Just try and provoke a strike. They're sitting there in two minds as to whether to take it or not. I think twitching it might just get us a strike. Alright, we got a bite. Alright. God. Just suddenly went. He's got into the tree. Come on, out. I think we got him out. We have got him out. Oh. He's done us in the tree, look. Well, we have had a bite. He's put us in the snags. Well, that's promising. We know there's fish here. Oh, that's so frustrating. Just moving that other rod, tweaking it, and he just grabbed it and shot right back in. The rod tip was going round by the time I picked it up. Hopefully he'll come back. It's typical, isn't it, when you've got the other rod in your hand. Right, we'll get out the bait here. Oh, it's so frustrating. You work so hard for a bite and then by the time you get to the rod, he's got you in a tree. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it on the camera. I literally, just in a few seconds, I saw the line tightening up and round it went. What's going on here? Yeah, there's a bit of depth under that bush, that's why. Right, well hopefully whatever that was is not here on its own. Presumably a zander. Right, we'll stick it out here for 10 or 15 minutes. God, it's a proper run. Alright, there we go. It's cocked again, that float. That was definitely some interest. And again, if you can see, it's just yeah, it's cocking. Something got hold of it. Finally, we found some zander. It's stopped again. There we go, look, it's grabbed it again. Float's going again. It's a big lump of roach, that is. Something having a chew, but it sort of has a go, let's go, has a go, let's go. It could be a small zander, of course. Yeah, I just felt a little pull then. Something's just hit that bait. Yeah, there we go, look. We're in. It doesn't feel very big, but we're in. Well, a fish. I think it's target species as well. It is. He's not a monster at all, by any means. A great scrap. There he is. Got him. Wonderful. There we are. Nicely lip hooked. Fantastic. Well, he's no monster at all, but he's bristling. He's not very happy to be out of the water. That's cracking. Just keeping one eye on this other float. We'll get him just in the edge of the net here, and we'll see if we can have any more out. Well, we haven't blanked and we've caught the target species. Fab. And I reckon that bait's good for another fish. This cover looked too good to not get a bite from. If we can get it out far enough. Let's try that. I'm just messing about with that for a few minutes. Now the issue as well is with this fella, zander are an invasive species. They are classed as an invasive species, and as such you're not supposed to return them. In fact, it's illegal to return them to the water. So I won't be showing you me returning him to the water, but suffice to say I'm a fish lover, so you can make your own mind up as to what will be happening to him. All right, I've just twitched that, look, and it's gone. Someone's been sat there watching that. There we go, look. Away it goes. In again. Just twitched it. And it made him grab it. Again, doesn't feel huge, but it's a fish. They're just not really that on it today. Just shows you that I've had to induce both these takes really by twitching the bait. They're scrapping really well, but like I said, the water's quite warm. It's nearly 10 degrees. Definitely a shoal of them down there. And that was on smelt. Got him. Well, we're having a few now. A couple. Well, the hook's dropped out in the net and they're like peas in a pod, so I have no idea which one I've just caught. I think that one, he's slightly fatter. It's possibly a she. There we go, how's about that? Wonderful. Let's see if we can hold them both up. There we are, nice brace. Cracking. Right. Oh, there are more to be had. So we've had one on smelt, one on roach. So both baits delivering today. Throw that in a hedge again for the fox. Alright, that other one's away. Ah, he's had me bait. Ah, just putting another bait on that other rod, putting it out. He's had our bait. That's frustrating. My rod tip was going again. Right, let's get that fresh bait out there. Let's get another bit on here. Cool, again, by the time I picked the rod up, the tip was going round. I think that's tells me it's smaller fish. They're grabbing it and swimming off before their mates get a chance to have a go. Blimey, it's all kicking off all of a sudden. Well, it's about 11:30. It's been like 3.5 hours. It took us 3.5 hours to get a bite. And we've had 3 bites in about 10 or 15 minutes. 10 minutes probably. Just shows you when you find them. But as I say, I think they're probably small ones. The way they're grabbing this bait, and then, like I say, by the time I'm even picking the rods up, they're shooting off with it, which is sort of a sign of smaller fish, because I think they're shoal fish. School is, so they find a bit of food, grab it and scarper with it before your mate can steal it off you. We'll certainly give it a bit longer though. It's getting a bit despondent with this today, but we've had a couple of fish now, and one drop off and one mug us, so not too bad at all. Nothing huge, but many's the time I've been zander fishing and caught absolutely nothing, so glad of a few fish. And certainly twitching has worked today, inducing bites. This canal's relatively clear as well for this canal. I say clear, I mean I'm talking 9 inches of visibility, something like that, because there's not many boats moving. You can see about that far into it, which is clear for the canals around here. South Stratford, if you can see that far into it, you're lucky. Aye, something's just jumped out over there. It's got to be worth covering, hasn't it? In case it was being chased. I'm going to leave one rod by this bit of cover, definitely. I'm going to put that other one just a little bit further along. Little fish, only this sort of size, has just jumped out over there. Didn't, you know, look massively like an attack, but you never know. Clearly there's some prey fish around here as well. Might be a good place to come and do a bit of float fishing, normal float fishing for sort of silvers. It jumped out just over there. So I'm wondering if there's anything over there that's hungry. It's about midday though, so I'm not going to give it too much longer now. I'll just have perhaps another 10 minutes. I'm happy, we've had some bites on some rubbishy old bait that we've got kicking around. Right, that's it. I'm going to call it a day there, unless something grabs that bait right now. Time to go home. I told my wife I'd be home now, and I'm still out. Yeah, time to go. That's been very enjoyable. Reintroduction to the canals. As I say, it's spitting with rain anyway. I need to get off home because, well, firstly because I said I would, and secondly, Six Nations is on, so I want to watch that. That's been cracking for a bit of an impromptu session. So everything fell into place, and we found this lovely bit of cover here. That's cracking, and it clearly holds some fish, which is fantastic. Now, as you can see, the rain is coming, and as I mentioned, it's illegal for me to return the zander back to the canal, being an invasive species. Unfortunately, they've escaped from the landing net. I had them in the landing net, and they've got out. Can you believe it? Never mind. I'll be a bit more careful next time. As I say, time to go home. I will be out again soon. I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed that. It's been hard work, but we found some fish in the end after about 3 hours, and converted 2 out of 4 takes. So yeah, I'll settle for that. That's okay. In zander terms, that's not too bad at all. So yeah, we'll be out again, perhaps on this canal or on this is the Grand Union, or on the South Stratford. Perhaps do a bit more zandering. Perhaps we'll go after some silvers next time. I'm not sure what. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, something a bit different. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you again very soon.